In the latest Genshin Impact reveal live stream, Hoyoverse has announced that we're going to be getting not one but two different Dendro characters coming to us in the next update. Those two being Yaoyao and Alhaitham, and today I want to discuss just how important I think both of their kits are to the Dendro element. So first up, I wanted to discuss Yaoyao, and in the live stream they revealed that Yaoyao is going to be a healer in some capacity, and that means Yaoyao is going to be our very first Dendro healer. And that is incredible because we simply don't have one now, and that opens so many doors to team building because more often than not, you are forced to use one of your other elements that aren't Dendro as your healer for your team, and that can really inhibit how you actually want to accomplish things. And I think to best illustrate this, you need to consider the fact that a lot of the Dendro reactions require you to have 3 different elements. So if you're doing Virgin, you need Pyro and Hydro and Dendro. If you're doing Hyper Bloom, you need Electro, Hydro, and Dendro. So that's already asking you to have 3 different units. And since Dendro couldn't be your healer in any of those characters, it really limited some of the support and main DPS characters that you could actually utilize to accomplish those reactions. So Yaoyao is going to be very huge for that. Now, I also wanted to mention that Yaoyao is going to be huge for Nilo Bloom teams. These are probably the teams that need the Dendro healer the most because you could only use our Hydro healers and we only have Kokomi and Barbara, and getting a Dendro character as your healer means you're going to open a lot more doors for you to be able to utilize some other Hydro supports, allowing you to just be significantly more flexible in your team building. So I think that's great, and I think the biggest potential issue with Yaoyao is just how good she is at actually applying the Dendro element. That could be an issue, and whether it's relatively convenient or if her healing is kind of the hassle, something like Diona. Not that Diona is bad or anything, but if the healing itself isn't very good or it's a little bit weird to actually accomplish, then that might be a little annoying. But the sheer fact that she's a Dendro healer is going to be more than enough for me, and I know a lot of other people, especially those Nilo Bloom peeps. And I'm sure when building a Dendro reaction team, you have come across the issue of, oh, well, I want to use these characters because I think that'd be really cool, but you can't because you need a healer on the team, and you just don't have a Dendro healer, so you end up having to use like Kokomi or Barbara or Kuki Shinobu or something. Not that any of those characters are bad, but it does limit your freedom and creativity in that team building. So Yaoyao bringing that to the table, I think, is very important. Now, I also wanted to discuss Alhaitham because I think a lot of people are kind of undervaluing Alhaitham's addition to the Dendro element, and the biggest reason I think that he is so important is because Dendro doesn't really have a kind of on-field, higher mobility type character yet. The only kind of real on-field Dendro character we have so far is Tighnari, and he's really locked into the spread reaction, so there's not too much freedom there. And you could argue Nahida too, she can do some fantastic DPS herself, but she doesn't have a lot of mobility, nor does she feel very fluid in her actual kit and accomplishing it in order to do your Dendro reactions. And I think Alhaitham is going to be our very first Dendro main DPS on-field driver Dendro character kind of character, and I think that is a really big deal as well, because that means you don't need to use some of the other elements as your main DPS. You could have Alhaitham there and then have a bunch of the supporting roles support your Alhaitham, and I think that is very valuable as well. I think a lot of people are really underrating that. And he is pretty much just Dendro Kaching, but is that really a problem? A lot of people really like Kaching, and that might be more for character design than actual kit design, but regardless, I think Kaching's kit is very fun, and if we get that in a Dendro character in a similar capacity, then I think I'm going to have a blast with Alhaitham. And again, the team building aspect that he is going to bring to the game, I think, is more significant than people realize, just because main DPS on-field Dendro driver that has some ability to him, I think that is going to be a really good addition to team building and the Dendro element, allowing you to get those reactions going. And I also wanted to reiterate the fact that Yaoyao specifically is going to be available for free during the Lantern Rite. That is actually a very big deal. Our first Dendro healer will be available for free, which is awesome. I'm so glad they're actually doing that. Glad they brought back the free 4-star thing during the Lantern Rite, and that Yaoyao is going to be one of those options. I know that's the one I'm going to be selecting, and I'm sure her constellations are probably going to lend her to be a significantly more playable character than she is going to be at base. But that's just kind of the nature of 4 stars at this point. I'm just more excited to have a Dendro healer at this point. All right, I wanted to keep this video brief and just wanted to give you my thoughts on the new upcoming characters in Genshin Impact 3.4. I think they're going to be really good Dendro additions. Of course, none of them are going to be necessary, but if you've been a little frustrated with your team building in Dendro specifically, I think these are going to be phenomenal additions to your roster, and the fact that Yaoyao is free is incredible. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, if you're going for either of them, or if you even care, or maybe you're going for one of the really cool reruns. Some really good reruns going on in there as well. Let me know in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. But other than that, hope to see you guys in the very next video. I'll catch you soon. Peace.